Hi, and welcome to SBR Sports Picks. He's Mike Brenner and Peter Loshak. We're the Odds Couple. This is the MLB Odds Couple Show for Thursday, April 13th. Of course, Mike Brenner and I do two produced Odds Couple shows a week where we update our records and where we preview the upcoming series. And every day, of course, we give our official MLB picks in a live show that we do at 10:30 Eastern Time. So, Mike Brenner, let's throw the record up. I am now only up 1 unit, but that's okay for me. You're up about 7 units or so.
Took a hit yesterday, and all I could hear in my head was Pete saying hemorrhaging units.
You got to be careful. You got to be careful when you take those, big favorites and stuff like that. I also saved you from a couple of units because you would have taken Toronto as a massive favorite, and they wound up losing. But still, overall, shaking everything out, we are still both positive, which is nice. Yeah. Hopefully, Boston can take care of things today, which is my one play tonight, and you have today in the afternoon. It goes in about an hour, and you have a bunch of picks.
Overdue, and I don't think it's anything to do with pitching, like you said in the live show. I think it has to do with their bats, their roster. Something's got to happen, right?
All right, yeah. So hopefully I will have a winner, and hopefully you will come out positive with all of your many plays that go tonight.
I want to ask you something real quick, Pete, because a lot of things I play into factor on cash and tickets. What do you honestly think about the point I brought up early in the season about David Ortiz? And the reason I'm asking that is I got a good friend that's in Boston. He's a huge fan, and he absolutely said the same thing. He said the dynamics, everything is different. That takes time before you have someone else that takes that leadership role. He said what's lacking there is no one has grabbed that leadership role. So I wanted to ask you what your thoughts were on that.
I think my thought on that is that it's, I would say, about 95% total bullshit. But, I mean, baseball is mostly an individual game, right? There's a lot of, when it's pitcher against batter, it's just the pitcher and the batter up there. But, there might be something to that. I think that, obviously losing Ortiz just from a statistical standpoint was a huge loss in the lineup, but they replaced him with a lot of.
He was.
They've got a strong lineup.
No doubt. Well, I just wanted to ask, and obviously, maybe
definitely,
it was a stupid question.
Definitely a big hit for them from a statistical standpoint in the lineup for sure.
Okay.
All right, so we got some interesting series coming up. A lot of strong teams at home against weak teams on the road, right? Cubs at home against Pittsburgh. Now, Pittsburgh not supposed to be that weak this year, but they haven't been getting it done. And the Cubs coming off the tough series against the Dodgers, so they might be primed for a sweep there. Washington at home against Philly. Yep. Philly might be overpowered in that one. And then Cleveland starting the year a little bit, underwhelming compared to their expectation, but they're going to be at home against Detroit. Detroit's coming off their home series against Minnesota, so that may be another series where Cleveland, might be looking at a sweep there. And then, of course, we got Atlanta with their opening series at their home ballpark. Yep. Mike Brenner, what's interesting to you? What do you have your eye on this
there's
week?
Quite a bit. I actually want to talk about the Philadelphia and the Washington because you got Strasburg and Rourke, and then you got Gonzalez. That Gio Gonzalez looked really sharp. I watched that game the other night, and I got a feeling, like you said, I think that could be a situation you could get a sweep, even though Hellickson looks really good. That was a great pickup for the Phillies. That's an interesting series there. I think that Washington's going to start picking up some steam with the bats as well. The other one I was going to ask you about was the Yankees because literally, I mean, Sabathia is pitching he looks really sharp.
He's fine.
And the one that really surprised me was Tanaka. I kind of thought he'd be a little sharper, and he's going tomorrow if I'm correct.
Yes, that's right. So let me just find these games. Where the hell are they?
Waka's on the mound for the St. Louis Cardinals. He looked really good in his opening game as well.
I hear there. Yeah, right. What to expect from Sabathia? I don't know. Carlos Martinez is a guy I'm not looking to fade, but St. Louis in general, also similar to Pittsburgh, looking a little bit subpar compared to what they were in years past. So that's we'll see where the lines are for that one. I mean, if St. Louis is a significant dog, I might take them, and maybe because Sabathia had a good first start, so maybe the Yankees will be a healthy favorite there. It's hard. It's a little bit hard to figure it out.
It is.
But I'm definitely Hellickson had a great first start, but I'm definitely high on Tanner Rourke in general. He's a guy that I'm looking to bet on and definitely not bet against. So I'm probably going to be on Washington there, depending on the line. If it's minus 250 or something, then no way.
And Rourke's actually overdue for a better start. I mean, he had a couple. He got roughed up on a couple spots on this. He's got like over 4.50 ERA. If I'm correct.
But he's won both the starts. I just like him in general. I think his stuff is okay.
Well, he's the kind that settles down too as he gets more starts under his belt.
And then on Friday we have a lot of big name starters going. Right, Kershaw going up against Greinke. Wondering what that line will be. Maybe Greinke will be able to keep. Well, yeah, but his velocity is a little bit down. I'm still in general. I mean, I think I faded him last start. I can't remember, but in general, I'm at best the jury's still out for Greinke in my mind.
Well, guess what? There's another factor. Might not be big in your eyes, but for me it is. He's going up against his former team that he had a chance to sign him, and he ended up going with Arizona. Sometimes that goes goes into play. He thought he might have been could have been the ace there, but going up against Kershaw, I think there's going to be a lot of dynamics. This is going to be an absolute chess match, and I think he wants this game, and I think he's had it circled since the beginning of the season.
We'll see what the line is. And Arizona, of course, is a little bit better than advertised early on, and they got some Goldschmidt, Pollock, the return of Pollock obviously helps them. Yeah. So we'll see what the line is on that one, and then Felix Hernandez also starting on Friday. Syndergaard
like him
starting
at
for
home.
the Mets.
Yeah, I like Hernandez at home, Pete. I think he's really going to have a good game. I especially like him in the first 5. I think that's when you're going to see it, and I think Seattle's bats are going to start coming alive.
Okay, and then Syndergaard is starting for the Mets. He's looking absolutely dominant. And then Chris Archer against Porcello, Tampa Bay and Boston. That's going to be an interesting one.
Great.
I will say Chris Archer, I know obviously expectations are always high for him, but I'm actually kind of high on him, maybe even to outperform his expectations this year.
I think so,
He's got
too,
some new
Pete.
pitches.
Yep, and also he's got some new pitches, and for a smaller guy, he reminds me of like Pedro Martinez back in the day. But he's really did some work on some of his, I would say, mishaps. The way he was pitching halfway through the year, he used to tend to get into this rut. I think emotionally and mentally this year, the kid's going to be sharp, and if he stays healthy, I think he might even be a running for the Cy Young this year.
Yeah, he's. It depends on if he can maintain it the whole year. We'll see what that line
and
is.
And he needs
again,
run support, of course.
Yeah.
So
but with Porcello going, Tampa Bay might be a dog here. We'll see what the line is, but in general, I'm looking for good things for Archer, possibly. And then let's see.
How about the next day in that series? You got Sale on the mound following up
that's
Porcello.
right. And then Chris Sale goes, and Chris Sale is. I know he's got massive lines every start this year, but I can't. And he lost his first start, but I don't know. I just can't. I can't bet against him until further notice.
And I'm not trying to get too deep, but then you got Pomerantz going on Sunday, and that kid had his first start. He looked really sharp. You've had a good eye on him last year, especially.
Yes, he did. And I was actually betting that he would get hit. I think that first start was a little bit illusory. We'll see what that line is. If Boston is a huge favorite there, then I might take Tampa Bay.
Respectable 1.50 ERA, though, Pistol.
Yes, that's right. An excellent 1.50 ERA in one start. So,
I know, but hey, we'll see.
All right.
So get pounded.
Yes, that's right. Okay, and what else has caught your eye, Mike?
Houston, when they got Keuchel going up against Graveman. Ooh, pitching duel. That Graveman's no joke.
Yes, and he actually, I've looked into him a little bit. He might be he might be primed for a much better than expected year this year. He's also, a sinker baller. If his sinker baller is working, I was reading about him. His sinker ball is rated up there with Chris Sale's on some of the metrics that rate sinker balls in the majors. And so that one might be we might be looking at under on that.
Happened the last time for Keuchel in his start. He pitched a gem. He didn't want to come out of the game. They showed it in the dugout and told the manager no. The manager said, no, you're sitting. Puts a guy in there, doesn't even get a third through a third of an inning, gives up 5 or 6 runs, 5 hits right away, and Keuchel was picked. I look for him to come out and have a good game. But something's happened in Oakland with their mid-relief that's really sharp.
Yes.
And I think it gives their starters a little more momentum, and it gives them some confidence knowing that, hey, behind them is they can depend on it. Pete.
Yeah, then we have Verlander
Oakland.
and Kluber, a matchup, and on Saturday in Detroit, Cleveland.
Yeah, Kluber's going to get. I think that team's going to get pounded this year more than.
So?
Yeah, I sure do.
Yeah,
if there's
Kluber
any indication early, he's not dominant whatsoever.
Yeah, and then on Sunday, Dylan Bundy. I mentioned Dylan Bundy early on in the year as a guy who might be a make or break guy for Baltimore. He's shown some great stuff so far this year.
Yeah.
J.A. Happ lost his first 2 starts. I was looking to fade him.
Wow.
We'll see, but we'll see what that line is. But again, that's one where I'm probably going to be looking to bet on Baltimore. Toronto, horrible, 1-7 so far this year.
I know, and Baltimore 6-2, I believe, Pete. And you know what? That was my dark horse pick this year when we did a show on odds to win that division or whatever. I like them. I think Bucky Showalter's got a good handle on that team, and until proven any different, I wouldn't be fading them. I would be, if anything, looking for the spots to back them.
Yeah, Toronto by far the worst team in terms of ROI so far in this young season. So I'm going to be looking maybe at Baltimore there. We'll see what the line is on that one.
You still looking to fade San Diego?
I don't know. San Diego is actually they're up about 30% ROI on the year so far. They're obviously going to be a big dog, most games. They do have some young outfielders who are kind of, keeping them afloat. And I don't know. San Diego might not be an overvalued team.
That's a pretty different response from when you said that in the beginning of the year. I think they're turning a lot of people's heads.
Yeah.
Hey, there's another series going to be good, and it's Colorado-San Francisco.
Yes.
All right, I think that's, we'd be remiss not to talk about it. Cueto looking really sharp. All right, he's going up, and then Moore follows behind him. And then Samardzija guy who I thought was going to have a sharp year is getting pounded. All right, he's going to be toeing the rubber on Sunday. But Colorado, you're looking at Chatwood. I like him. I think that kid's going to turn it around. He's in a rut right now, but I think if he figures out a few of his mechanical issues, he's going to bounce back. But they've got that Senes, I don't know how to pronounce it. That guy going on Sunday, he's good. Senezelia or something.
You're right. Colorado might be a good bet on Saturday and Sunday.
And
then tonight, I don't know if I want to bet against Johnny Cueto. I'm
No,
sorry,
I don't.
tomorrow.
Yeah,
I don't want to
tomorrow's Cueto.
bet
I'm not
against
touching
Johnny
that
Cueto.
one. Yeah.
But we'll see what that line is. If it's a big line, Tyler Anderson, of course, did have a good year last year, and a little bit shaky at the start of the year. But he might right that ship, and he might start with as a San Francisco.
Sure.
Yeah, Colorado might win all three of those games, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Although tonight against Bumgarner, I'm not betting against him.
6-4 record Colorado out of the gate. That's something to build off of a little bit. We'll see what happens. Yeah.
All right, Mike Brenner, you think we can keep up our positive records
I hope
through
so,
next
Pete.
week?
Hope so. I just want to take it one day at a time and try to stay more disciplined and just stay focused.
All right. Sounds good, Mike Brenner. We'll be back on Monday with a preview of next week's series and an update with our record, depending on how things go. We'll see if it's positive or negative on Monday.
That's right. And guys, make sure you click that subscribe button and also hit that like button. Let them know you like the Odds Couple.
Well, this episode of The Odds Couple is over. But if you give us a like and click SBR's logo at the bottom of the screen to subscribe, then you'll get all the upcoming videos as soon as they come out. And don't forget to take advantage of our website. There's free picks, live betting lines, and sportsbook reviews and ratings guides, and a whole lot more. Check it out now.